Akash on the stream says, have you guys seen the reports of Mike McDaniel getting fired? Armando Salguero, longtime Dolphins reporter, writes this. If the Dolphins go from 8-3 to 8-9 and not in the playoffs, quote, everybody's job is at risk. If they win their season finale and sneak into the playoffs, Stephen Ross might look the other way on those 5 consecutive December to January losses, but it will feel more like a skid than a collapse. But if they go from 8-3 to 8-9 and not in the playoffs, everybody's job is at risk.
That'd be pretty crazy, I think. Do you think I was listening to Lombardi's podcast at the gym and had a good point that obviously both these two teams, like the Dolphins, the Jets, I think, were 7-4, and they were 8-3. Some people were talking about the Dolphins in the playoffs. In the Super Bowl. Both these two teams, they play each other, right? Jets Dolphins, is that the game?
Jets Dolphins is the game.
Both these two teams, Guy, are coming in on a 5-game losing streak. That means, assuming there is not a tie, the loser of this game is going to end the season on a 6-game losing streak, which in the NFL, that's basically 2 months. Obviously, Saleh's year 2, Mike's year 1. Is the loser of this game getting fired? Because it crossed my mind when I saw LaFleur's brother, did you listen to him talk? Sounds just like his brother.
I read his quotes.
If I was one of the owners, and I think I got all this talent, Miami definitely does, the Jets definitely do. We don't have a quarterback. It's hard for me to blame Mike for Tua. I definitely can blame Saleh and Joe Douglas for Zach Wilson, who was an utter disaster, and they fucking...
Well, did Saleh pick him?
Yeah, remember? That was LaFleur. But I wonder if the loser of this game gets fired. Because I do think if you're Woody Johnson, who's now back from his 7 years abroad doing who knows what, could go, why don't I just pay Sean Payton $20 million? I have this sweet team. He can just inherit it, and he'll fix out my offense. Thanks for the work, guys. Or Jim Harbaugh. Hasn't Stephen Ross sniffed around on Jim Harbaugh before?
Sniffed around? He said, I won't steal him from Michigan, my alma mater.
And he tried to hire him when Jed got him, remember?
Yeah. So, that could make, is Mike McDaniel, if you told me Stephen Ross was not going to fire Mike McDaniel but then Jim became available again, and then that, if you fire a guy because you have a guy you love, then I got no problem with that ever. I don't care if it's been 1 year. If Sean Payton told the Texans he's coming, sorry, Lovey,
Lovey might get fired.
We might get fired anyway, but you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a good question. I do think, having watched both these teams this year, as you have, and a lot of people have, they're, especially the Dolphins, their quarterback situation has been all over the map. I give Mike McDaniel credit for making Tua look good, better than he's ever looked. So, now I understand you're an owner. We're 8-3. What the hell happened, fellas? But I'm watching.
The Jets were 7-4.
That one I would judge even a little more harshly, because, like you said, if they picked that quarterback, I don't care. It's not Mike McDaniel's fault who the quarterbacks are.
I agree, but the other thing that crossed my mind, but the Tua situation, maybe you blame Mike for, I don't know. I do wonder for Saleh, this is what I think about just in my spare time, if he was fired, which I don't think he should be, and I don't think necessarily he will be, but 6 games, this is the NFL, these owners have unlimited money, you never fucking know, it's all chump change to him. Would he interview for jobs that week?
Yeah,
or has he not done
head
enough?
Coach interviews?
I thought so too.
Yeah. Now, could they both work for D'Amico?
D'Amico's
you don't think Mike
my
McDaniel
deal is a package deal. Saleh's my DC. Mike's my OC.
Do you think Mike McDaniel would interview for jobs that week?
No, I don't.
You don't think Mike McDaniel will get hired as head coach?
I do not know.
I think he might. I think he would interview. I think 100% he would interview. I think the Panthers would talk to both of them.
Their offense was pretty sweet before Tua's head fell off.
He turned Tua into, some were claiming, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL by some measures. I think he proved a lot with Tua. I think I could see the Panthers liking him. Now they might just give Steve Wilkes the job.
Also, well, that was a classic Sunday news drop. All signs pointed to Steve Wilkes keeping the job. And then you look up 3 hours later, Tom Brady's throwing bombs to Mike Evans. You're like, yeah, he's probably not keeping the job.
Sean on the stream said the original Peyton as the head coach and Brady as the owner-player comes back on the table in Miami. That's a good point, Sean.
Well, guy, why wouldn't Woody Johnson be interested in the same fucking thing? I think Woody Johnson would say, our team is more complete than their team.
It would make more sense for Tom, but I mean, both would work. Tom may just want to stay. Sean may just want to be beachside where you can listen to.
Kid he kisses in New York.
Huh?
The kid Tom kisses.
Oh, the kid he kissed. I was like, who is Kitty Kiss?
No, the kid, it's Tom's son that
Tom's
he gives
son,
neck kisses to.
Good point. Good point.
Which again, I mean, it's to each his own. But
interesting. God, that kind of makes that game. What's the
I'm pretty interested in that thing.
That's a
you want to hear my opinion?
That's plus 2.5.
Loser of that game gets fired.
Who do you think loses that game? Dolphins.
I think
win that game.
For as crazy and people think Woody's nuts, Steven's way nuttier. Stephen Ross is the way richer, high-level businessman Dan Snyder, I think. I mean, I'm not talking like clearly he's better with the other owner. I just mean like you can't be shocked at anything this guy does. If you told me he like has some power play to get like one of the top EPL coaches to consult his football, this guy's out there. This guy is out there. And he has unlimited money, unlimited cash. He literally, in Jed York's backyard, out-politicized him with public donations, and his guy won because he's fucking building all the real estate around Jed Stadium.
Incredible. That's a pretty big power move.
Massive. This guy's fucking based on the East Coast. It's like, yeah, Jed, I own Santa Clara too.
All right.
I do think if one of those two guys is fired Monday, it doesn't even feel like they'd be fired Monday, but who knows?
Why wouldn't they be?
You're right. It feels more like
do it.
Oh my God, Wednesday. You see Robert, like I text you, Robert Saleh has been fired. Feels more like a Wednesday than Monday, but let's just say Monday. That'd be a pretty big wow.
Robert Saleh. All right, let's say they both get fired, which we don't. That's not what you're predicting, but just the job for each guy. Next job for Robert Saleh would be what?
Which you could also say is on the table regardless of the outcome, assuming Miami misses the playoffs.
Would Saleh, if D'Amico left, which it's 50-50 at this point, I'm not. He may not. I mean, he's going to be a head coach, but would Saleh immediately come back? No, but being the Niners DC would be on the table if he doesn't get a head coaching job, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Next job for each.
I think Saleh has a much, much better chance of becoming a head coach. I actually could see Denver. I could see a lot of people. I think he's really well respected. I wonder if a lot of people wouldn't touch Mike's weirdness right away.
It could go either way. My thought on Mike is Denver. Remember, did the owner say the next head coach is going to report to him?
Yes.
I could see the owner and the owner kind of feeling like, me and Mike, we'll be a good little team here. Mike's different than most football guys, which don't really want to talk to the owner. Mike might. I don't know. I can see the owner thinking like, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to go get Mike McDaniel. He fixed Tua. I got all this money. I don't know if you saw, was it Rap Sheet? Somebody on NFL Network said, you could cut Russ and take the $108 million hit next year.
But it's not about paying him to go away. They would gladly do it. It's what your cap to sign players. Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. You might as well just utilize them.
So
Mike McDaniel's from there, so he's got to start as a ball boy.
That's right. I think Mike in Denver, I think a weird owner situation to me would benefit him.
Would you rather have, if you and I ran Denver, we're like, they're both going to get fired Monday, right? Let's just say they're both. Would you rather have Mike as the head coach, Robert as the DC, or Robert as the DC, excuse me. So Robert as the DC, Mike as the head coach, or have Robert as the head coach, Mike as the OC.
Whatever ends in Mike calling offense is fine with me. Either one. I think both of them have shown they can handle weird, awkward, difficult situations.
I would go with Robert as the head coach. And just let Mike focus on offense. I think he's
Or you
proven
saying it
this
doesn't
year.
matter as
It
much?
does. He's proven this year. It's like he can kind of motivate that group.
What about? Yeah, New Orleans.
I'm kind of expecting them both to get fired now.
Carolina, Atlanta. The Jets one is,
Bro, these are weird places, man.
yeah. If you like the quarterback, then yes, you deserve to get fired.
What those two places are what Michael Bidwell and Mark Davis dream of doing, having unlimited cash, and every time I hate the coach, fire them.
Yeah,
What Al Davis used to be able to do. Why? He didn't pay the coaches anything. It was easy to do. Those guys can do it, and they cut those huge checks. And those type guys are the reason that the league told everyone at the league meetings, you guys have paid $800 million in the last 6 years to tell people to go away. And they're like, yeah, we don't even care. We'll pay $800 million more if we think we need to. It's all fake money that we're just getting from the league, right? Or, I mean,
Yep.
the money we're generating as a
Yeah.
league. Mark's like, God, I'm fucking jealous. Because if you were Mark, wouldn't you could easily justify firing everyone and throwing the bag at Jim Harbaugh, right?
100%. But Jim's going to cost you another $110 million.
And I would imagine if Jim comes back, who's going to be his defensive
That'd
coordinator?
be 3 straight years of insane coaching contracts.
It would.
Well, not 3 straight years. The Gruden contract was a few years before that, but
Assuming he got out. It
Sean
feels like if he
Payton
didn't get out and was trying to get out, it would have got out that they were like at each other's throat. I think it's pretty clear. Maybe there was a payment made. Deuce kept on the staff. Like you can add up the pieces on that one.